Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been doing the XYZ Festival um, format, and basically it's a pretty fun format. Um, and there's a bunch of decks going around right now that are kind of funny. There's with like a self-burn OTK deck that tries to lose really quickly. And there's some other stuff like Phantom Knights and ciphers and Galaxy Eyes. There's a bunch of random stuff going around, and it's kind of an overall fun format. There's huge ban lists, and unfortunately, some cards that would be pretty good in a Exceed only format have been banned, but that's okay. So, what I have here today is a pretty, I would say, relatively super cheap Nekroz deck that you can make if you already have the core. It's a really cheap deck to just grind out the event. You'll win some, you'll lose some, you'll break some. That's just the event in general. Like this, they ban so many cards that is supposed to help with the consistency of the deck, or just our power cards. They ban a bunch of them, so whatever. We still play the game. We're just basically sending out big beaters and ignoring our extra deck. So, as you can see here, these extra deck cards, none of them matter. Like, you don't use any of this stuff right here. All this stuff is just stuff that I had extra that that found that in my collection. I threw it in there. I never saw anything from the extra deck. You don't touch your extra deck at all. It's just there. The main idea of this deck, there's two important cards that have been banned for Nekroz, and that's Unicorn and Kaleidoscope. So without Kaleidoscope, well, I mean, even if you had Kaleidoscope, you couldn't really use it anyways, because these are ranks, so you wouldn't be able to send any of this to pay for the cost of Kaleidoscope. Basically, it does hit one of your mirrors, one of your ritual spells, which kind of sucks. I think they should have kept Kaleidoscope in the game, since you couldn't use it anyways. I don't know why they banned Kaleidoscope. I understand Unicorn. Unicorn in this format would be kind of ridiculous. Even then, it's not that strong because you don't have, the fairies to dump for it. You don't have, Entis or, Herald to dump for Unicorn, so you have to manually summon Unicorn out with, like, by tributing for costs and stuff like that, like the old-fashioned way. So this deck is basically the old-fashioned Nekroz deck with incantations. Incantation is a really cheap engine to make. There are a bunch of rares and commons, and the only super that you need is Incantation Chalice Slime. And honestly, you can only play, you don't even have to play this card. I'm playing just one of. In the old Nekroz build, when back then they would play like 2 or 3 of these, but you honestly don't really need them that much if you're kind of stuck on a kind of low on card resources. The only ultra, there's actually 0 ultras you have to play in this deck. Like, you can make this entire deck with just rares and supers and commons. As you can see here, I have a playset of Maxi and Ash Blossom. These are cards already crafted. If you have them, great, go ahead and put them in. If you don't have these, don't feel too bad. You don't really need them. It is a very low power format, I guess, because there's a bunch of cards that are banned, and people are trying to exceed, so they're not super necessary, and you don't even have to really play them. But I have them in here as a, because I have them. And then I also have Call by the Graves. You don't need this card either, honestly, but I have them just to protect myself against Maxi and Ash. And then Lightning Storm, you get this one for free if you bought the bundle pack, but even then you don't need it. I play the one of in here because I might need to kill a monster I can't normally kill, or kill some sort of back row, but it's kind of just whatever's. The other good card would probably be Evenly Match. Evenly Match is pretty good in this. Well, Evenly Match is just overall good in general, so if you have it, go ahead and play it. All these cards are banned right here. I'm not sure if it's all the pot cards are essentially banned. So these are only 2 available. Is it Desires? You could play Desires. Honestly, it's a pretty good card. But yeah, Pot of Prosperity and Pot of Extravagance are both banned. Otherwise, I would definitely play them in here. I tried to enter it, and then I was, oh, they're banned, because you don't need your extra deck. So I was just trying to like throw it in, but yeah, they're both banned. But yeah, the main idea here is just old-fashioned Nekroz with incantations. Incantation ratio is kind of weird. I think you can do 4. You can cut out the book here. I think this you need to play at least 2 talisman for sure, and then maybe 1 pencil plume and 1 candle. But just because I have a bunch of extra room in my deck right now, I kind of shoved them all in here. Honestly, you can cut them out and just play like a second Chalice Slime if you had another Chalice Slime. Do that instead. In terms of the Nekroz monsters, basically we're just going to be bringing out our big boss monsters. These two are the best boss monsters, obviously Trishula and this guy here. I don't know how to pronounce his head. I had like 3 Trishulas, but I dusted 2 of them to make my other deck, because I didn't think I've ever played 2 Trishulas. But if you had 2 Trishulas, you could. Trishula is a pretty good card combined with Shrit. But you can recycle Trishula, honestly, in this deck with the Pencil Plume and some other stuff that you don't really need to play a second Trishula. And then he's just a good beater and a good negator. If you don't have either of these cards, you can substitute them for Decisive Arm, which I think is right there, but I'm just going to hit this right here. Decisive Arm is a pretty good beater. It's 3,300. Decent effect both ways. It pumps your Nekroz monsters by 1,000 attack points, and it pops a face down card, so it's not bad. It's but it's underpowered for what it is. But in this particular format, I think 33 beaters is pretty good. So you can play this instead. You could play more Valk if you wanted to. I'm just playing 2 Valk just because he works well with the Chalice Slimes and stuff. Because when you bring out Valk, you can use this effect to send the Chalice Slimes that you don't need, you're not using for materials for a ritual summon, and you can draw off of him. So that's pretty good there. That's why I like the Valk here. Gungnir is optional. You could probably honestly replace her. I don't think I've ever summoned her out. I think I've ever used her effect to like protect myself for a little bit, but outside of that, I think if you she's not bad, because like you can play her and then start ditching your useless Nekroz cards to start popping stuff on the board. And her effect is a quick play effect, so it's kind of nice. So if it's a good disruption card, but not that great. So that's kind of just the main core of the deck. The only card that you really definitely need supers of are obviously the Brionac, the Preparation, Cycle. You could play 2 or whatever. I opt to play 2, 2, and 1, because these are going to be your main ways to abuse Shrit. Because basically you want to pitch Shrit with a Cycle to revive something from your graveyard, like a Colossus or a Valk, or maybe a Trishula or Airhead right here, or Redhead, whatever. And then you use the mirror if you have a Shrit in the graveyard, banish the Shrit or whatever, and then summon the your other boss monsters here. Or you can use them as regular rituals and sacrifice the or tribute the incantations to do that. The incantation Inception does the same thing. This time you're using your incantations to bring back your ritual monsters. And they have a variety of levels here. So you got like level 7, level 8. So I think the most useless one is going to be this one, because this is a level 5, so it's kind of awkward. Level 6 is also a little awkward. I think 5 and 3, if you have these 2 out on the board, you can go into that. I think 5 and 4, you can go into Trishula. And level 10 is kind of impossible, honestly. It'll be like Candle and Talisman. The 3 being the most useless one. It's hard to do stuff with this one. The only one you can really bring out is the Baby Colossus here. But outside of that, you can also use the Manju. You also use Senju. If you want to use Senju. I don't think I have a playset of Senju. Oh, I do. So you can use also Senju here. Just another rare card. Should be pretty easy to make. Instead, if you want to play that package, I just don't care for normal summoning too much, I guess. I think these guys kind of pay for themselves. They put bodies plus your rituals and stuff like that, so they work pretty well. And yeah, that's basically the deck right here. I probably will make some changes as I play, but so far it's doing okay. Like if you're playing against a self-burn OTK deck, just attack them. Like honestly, they want to lose quickly and you want to win quickly. Just attack them. You know, it's whatever. Don't bother negating any of their stuff. Let them burn themselves. If you're playing against other meta decks, it's not bad because like you have big threats that are pretty you can summon out pretty easily and kind of recycle throughout the deck, and you don't rely on any other cards like this. But yeah, that's just the quick deck profile. If you got the cards, go ahead and make it, and yeah, grind out the XYZ format duels. It's really good for farming gems. I think you can easily get like a couple thousand gems in like an hour or two of playing, and then use those gems to buy more packs. Yeah, that's it, you guys. See you next time.